Rob Fraser here. So this video, I'm going to start doing forecasts for the next week, and I'm just going to stick to gold right now, as that's one of the main things I trade. And I've been trading gold on the Forex market for a little bit of time now. I've been averaging a decent income from it, and now I just decided to start putting out these public, if you will, forecasts, and I'm just going to do them for like the next 1 to 4 weeks, as this is always a process and things like that. I see some people doing it for Bitcoin, some people doing it for fiat currencies. I'm going to do it for gold. Now, a little bit of background. I got out of the Marine Corps after 12 years, and self-employed. I've taught myself how to market on the internet, and how to trade Forex. And it wasn't teaching myself. It was just finding people out there who were teaching it, and then learning it, and then crafting my own strategies and experimenting, working with them, and they work. So they work for me. If you're interested in where I've learned to trade, there's going to be a link underneath this YouTube video. Takes you to another video. You can get that information there. So moving forward, my Frasers forecast for gold for the next 1 to 4 weeks. So today is what, March 22nd, 2019. And I look at a bunch of different things. I look at the news. I look at headlines. Excuse me. I go to dailyfx.com, investing.com, are some of the main ones I go to. My computer's being a little slow here at the moment. I also go to CNN Money, just to try to get a broad spectrum as to what is going on. And there, they were finally loaded there. So what I do is I'll come down here. I just glance at the headlines, So, for example, in this case, what would stand out to me? Wall Street tumbles. Whenever Wall Street tumbles, gold goes up. Whenever the president says something and people freak out, I just read an article earlier about the Marines practicing their island hopping campaign for a possible thing with China. I know things like that always drives the price of gold up. Always, always. Bad news, bad economy. We thought this many jobs were going to happen, but it was really this many jobs. Gold always spikes in those cases. So just that right there is like the main basics. So you can totally get lost looking at all of these numbers. I know some people, they look at oil, and if oil goes up and gold does this, and there's so many different things that play back and forth with each other, and it's easy to get lost down the rabbit hole. Me, I skim over it all, and I use more so technical analysis. And if your technical analysis is on point, then it'll match up with what's going on out there in the world, no matter what. Also, if you want that information on how I've learned to do that, again, that video is in the description of this YouTube video. So I look at dailyfx, investing.com here. Only a couple things that stand out. So for here, it was just that Wall Street tumbles, and then that article here on oil. And I may look at something like this. U.S. government posts $234 billion deficit in February. Things like that will drive the price of gold up. Usually. Planned U.S. oil shortage, new scrutiny, it's all rhetoric. Who knows where these people are getting their information from. There's so much of it out there. There's so much crap, so much noise, that you have to turn it off sometimes to look at things objectively, which I'll show you how I do near the end of this video. So I look at here, I look at here. Also, for example, this right here, gold US dollar. A lot more clients to DailyFX are saying that gold is going to continue going up. And only 20%, 26% of people say short. In the past, I would always say, oh yeah, everyone's gone long. Hey, I'm going to go long. Go long means buy. keep in mind, whatever you see out there, a lot of times it's always, you got to cut it out sometimes. I personally side with the folks that say short. I like seeing what a lot of people are doing and then do the opposite. But just think about this. Different statistics I've heard from different sources, the majority of people who trade Forex are not doing it full time. Or if they are doing it full time, they're not profitable. I'm living off of my earnings. So, and I'm not going to show my earnings here. I'm not giving investment advice. That's just my disclaimer. I'm not a invest guy, I'm not a tax guy. Do your own taxes, find your own CPA, find your own guys to invest with. I just trade gold on the Forex market and also buy it. So I may have a little tiny bias towards it. So anyways, getting into the charts, you could see this right here is just the daily chart, tradingview.com. And if you ask me, I personally think that we are actually going to go back down. This right here is was a breakout to the downside, and you see kind of gold coming back up, but also bouncing against that resistance level. I'm gonna just go down here to the 4-hour chart to get a little bit better picture. As you can see right here, matter of fact, see gold coming down, bunch of sellers take over, kind of does a little tug of war thing and kind of comes back up for a little bit, and it bounces up, comes back down. My prediction is just going to kind of bounce up again and going to go back down at least until the 1285 level over the course of the next 1 to 2 weeks. Taking a step back, why do I say that? Well, kind of looking at this right here, just kind of zooming back out a little bit. It almost kind of halfway looks like a head and shoulders pattern. Here's the left shoulder, here's the head, and then we had a broken collarbone, if you will, and here's the, what do you call that, the right shoulder. So my prediction is it's going to go back down. Looking at the Renko charts, eliminating all the time, eliminating everything, and just looking at just price bricks, if you will. Kind of looks the same, like a little head and shoulders pattern. Also, looking up here, 1355. That's another resistance level. Zoom back out a little bit. It's having some trouble getting over that 1355 mark. I mean, just look, you can see this from the chart yourself. This is a wrinkled chart, so there's no time per se. It's just really points. But yeah, as you can see, it's having trouble around that 1355 level. So zooming back in, again, personally, my prediction is, and you can also see that little red brick starting to form right here, my prediction that it's going to come back down, hit this baseline, and break through it. Looking at the chart here, and if you disagree, please leave the comments below. I do have a long-term bias towards gold. I do always like to buy because I actually buy and hold the metal. But keep in mind, separating that from this and separating emotion and everything else, and just looking at the chart here, we're having issues here. I think it's going to come back up and just kind of bounce around and just head back down here at least until that, what did I say, 1289 to 1285-ish range. It's going to be a range. And then we'll come back and revisit this. Watch if it breaks this line right here. If it breaks this line right here, I know we're going to head south a little bit further. More than likely into 1248 to 1234 range, give or take. But that's my prediction there. So that being said, a few other factors I look at: the Aussie and the US dollar going through the same things. I'll move my fibs there. Whenever gold goes up, the Aussie goes up. Whenever gold goes down, the Aussie goes down. And you can see what's happening. The Aussie is currently going down, but gold is still going up, but it's going to catch up sooner or later. Same thing with New Zealand. and the American dollar. I haven't marked up this particular chart yet because they follow real close to each other. The Aussie and the New Zealand dollar are really closely correlated. The US dollar and the Swiss franc, according to a few sources that I've looked at, the Swiss currency is backed 25% by gold, and it has a negative correlation. Whenever gold goes up, the franc goes down, and as you can see here, the franc is down. And another thing I want to throw out there is that there's a few support levels that the franc is already kind of bouncing off of. Here I got a 200-day smooth moving average. You can see it bounces, you can see it bounces, and here it broke. But if we zoom in, we see it starting to show signs of a reversal. Whenever the Swiss franc goes up, gold goes down. So that's why I watch these different pairs here. And that's really it. I'm going to wrap this video up before I get too far into it. But I do look at these other pairs in conjunction. Again, the Aussie and the gold have a strong correlation. And in some cases, you can almost use it as a predictor because, you know, it doesn't always happen at the same time. But what happened here? The Aussie came up, hit, and the Aussie's going back down. Looking at gold, it's going up, it hit, and my prediction is just going to follow the Aussie right after. New Zealand dollar doing the same thing. I just haven't marked this chart up. I just have it naked for now, if you will, because it has such a close correlation with the Aussie. The Swiss franc, again, I'm just recapping what I shared so far. Bounced below that 200-day moving average, showing signs of reversal. My money is on the franc going up, gold going down, the Aussie continuously going down. I watch the Aussie, AU, whatever you can call it, AUD, USD. Watch that pair. Whenever Sunday, Monday, Tuesday happens, and I watch the Aussie, more than likely it's going to continue to go down. I'll know what's going to happen with the rest of the train after seeing what's happening with Aussie and US dollars. That being said, nothing major happening as far as, you know, anything. But that's how I look at different things, and looking at all these different pairs helps me trade just gold. So that being said, wrapping this video up, any questions, comments, concerns, leave them below the video. If you want to check out where I learned how to trade, there's like 3-4 different sources. It'll be in that next video. Name's Rob Fraser. Looking forward to continuously doing these more and more and more. If you think I'm an idiot, I'm full of crap, leave that comment below. If you think it makes sense, leave that comment below. If you have a different analysis, leave it below. I'd love to hear from you. We'll see you in